and welcome back. Living in LA, it's a lot of work to park, drive, gas is super expensive, so oftentimes, more often than not, I take an Uber. If you're unfamiliar with Uber, it's essentially a taxi where you can call it from your phone and they pick you up and you pay from your phone. It's your personal driver. I swear to God, this is not a promo for Uber, and you'll see why in about 30 seconds. Most of the time, Uber is a very pleasant experience, it's very professional, it's very easy, but when you take Uber as often as I do, you are bound to run into a few characters. AKA, some of the drivers are just fucking insane. I think we're all very aware at this point that I tend to attract the most crazy people into my life, and my Uber drivers are no exception. Today, I'm just going to share with you a few of my favorite and most uncomfortable Uber experiences. My first less than pleasurable Uber experience was this guy came and he picked me up. The second that I got into the car, he said, "Where are you going?" And I gave him the address. I was living in North Hollywood at the time with my psycho roommate. I was going downtown, which is normally about a 20-25 minute drive. Heads up to everybody unfamiliar with the Los Angeles area, everywhere is a 20 to 25 minute drive. So I gave him my destination and he said, "Oh, you're going all the way downtown?" And I said, "Yeah, is that okay?" And he said, "Ugh, I just wasn't expecting to drive that far. I was headed home." And I'm thinking, then why did you pick another person up? You could have gone home whenever you want. Uber drivers make their own schedules. He chose to pick another ride. I could have been going all the way to the airport. I could have been going to Orange County. I could have literally been going anywhere and he would have had to take me. So the fact that he would pick somebody up just hoping that they were only going 5 minutes away is already insane to me. So I was like, okay, I have to go downtown. Is that okay? And he said, "Oh, yeah, I guess." So I'm like, all right, great, but we're still sitting there. So I said, "Is there a problem?" And he said, "It's just that I really have to pee." Why would you pick up a passenger if you had to pee? I didn't know what to say, so I was just like, that sucks. I hope that traffic isn't too bad. Finally, we start driving. We get about half of a block and he pulls into a gas station and says, "Hold on 1 minute while I go pee." Left me in my Uber with the meter running while he went pee, came out 5 minutes later and said, "That's much better. Thank you so much for letting me stop." I mean, I didn't have that much of a choice, but whatever. I need to get downtown. As we're driving downtown, he's trying to make small talk with me, and I think by now, you should know how I feel about small talk. But I'm not a rude person. I understand social niceties, so I try to small talk back. I say, "How do you like being an Uber driver?" And he said, "I hate it. It really sucks." When you're in the service industry, you can't tell your customers that you hate what you're doing. That's like if you ask a bartender, "Oh, how do you like bartending?" "I fucking hate it. Here's your vodka soda." You can't do that. Then he pulls out his vape pen, starts puffing away, and after the car is filled with smoke, he says, "Hey, you don't mind if I vape, do ya?" Eventually, he gets me downtown. It wasn't that bad. I gave him 5 stars anyways. I've always given everybody 5 stars, even if they're a super shitty driver, because I'm a good person. And that was my first brush with the dark side of Uber. More so a nuisance than anything. Now, this next guy was clearly high. They'll accept your request, and then it'll say how many minutes away they are, and when they pull up to your house, it'll say your Uber is arriving now. This guy called me pretty much right after he accepted my request, and he said, "I'm 4 minutes away." And I was like, cool, Uber's always 4 minutes away, see you soon. Pulls up to my house, calls me, and says, "Hey, I'm here." Okay. So I came out, he asked me where I was going. I was actually going to the Janoskian's house, which is impossible to find without a GPS. And he said, "Okay, do you know how to get there?" And I said, "No, but your GPS might." And he said, "Yeah, but my phone doesn't have GPS." I was like, doesn't Uber provide you with an iPhone that has GPS on it to accept the calls? And he said, "Yeah, but you have to pay $10 for it, and I'm not paying $10. That's highway robbery. So I'm late. I just have to get there. I don't have time to argue with him or whatever." So I type in the address on my own GPS, which already annoys me because homegirl doesn't have unlimited data. I didn't get my first cell phone until like my junior year of high school. So I'm not grandfathered into unlimited data. You can't buy unlimited data anymore. I don't like using my data for other people's GPS. But I was late, so I did it. As we're driving, it's 9 million degrees. He refuses to put on the air, so I roll down the windows. I'm sweating off my face. I look and smell disgusting, but whatever. We pull up to the Janoskian's house. He drops me off, and he just sits in the driveway, which is creepy. And then I get a call from that Uber driver, the same number. He said, "Hi, this is your Uber driver. I'm 4 minutes away." And I said, "Hi, I didn't order an Uber." Then 4 minutes later, I got a call. "This is Uber. I'm at your front door." And I asked him the address, and he was at my front door. Just so you understand the depth of this insanity, this man went to my house, picked me up, drove me to my destination, dropped me off, sat there for 5 minutes, drove back to my house to pick me up. I think that he might have been on drugs. I'll have what he's having. But again, I gave him 5 stars because I'm a good person. This next one wasn't really a bad experience. It was just an interesting experience. I got in this Uber one time and he like lined the entire thing with neon light tubing, which was super cool. And he had music in it. The lights like changed with the music. And he had a laptop computer on the dashboard. It was a slideshow of his wife and kids. Legitimately a party Uber. And I was really sad that I was in it by myself. I wish I had a bottle of vodka and a burrito because I wanted to party. Did my lighting just change? If it did, I kind of like it better, to be completely honest. Okay, so up until this point, everything was just more annoying than anything. But this last trip that I just took a couple days ago made me so insanely uncomfortable for so many reasons that I had to make it a storytime video. So I get in the car, and as I'm closing this door, this beautiful transgendered woman walks by. Her body is perfect, like insane. But he said, "Do you think that's a man or a woman?" And I said, "I believe that it was a man and is now a woman." And his response was, "Ew, gross," which really took me off guard. I'm always surprised in general when people in 2015 are racist or homophobic or transphobic or sexist, but I'm really surprised when people are so blatantly open about it. I feel like if I felt those things, I would at least try to hide it because you look like such a fucking asshole. So I said, "I think she looks fucking amazing." And he said, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, I think she looks absolutely beautiful and I'm so happy for her." And he just sort of shrugged it off like, ugh. So immediately, I hate this guy. We're driving, he's trying to small talk. As we know, I hate small talk as it is, but I fucking really hate small talk with assholes. So I'm just being really short with him. This guy walks past and he's dressed super urban. I think that's okay to say. Bandana, baggy pants. And he says, "Oh my God, look how this guy is dressed. That's absolutely disgusting." And I was like, who is this guy? We live in LA. This is the mecca of different people. What are you doing here? I couldn't imagine anybody living in LA and being that small-minded. I can't imagine people being that small-minded at all, but so again, I said, "I think he looks cool. I think it's awesome that he's wearing what he likes. He looks like he's really comfortable in himself." Then we see a homeless man on the street and he starts talking about how gross the homeless man is. And then tells me about all of the other gross homeless people he saw today in LA. I tell him that homelessness is a really serious problem in LA and across the world, that we should do as much as we can to help. And I tell him that a lot of homeless people have mental illnesses such as schizophrenia or personality disorders. And he continues to make fun of homeless people. Then we drive past a McDonald's and he says McDonald's is gross. And I agreed. I had a woman get into my car today and she asked me to stop through a McDonald's drive-thru. And I said, "Oh, I've done that. She must have been in a hurry." And he said, "That's so disgusting. How could anybody eat McDonald's?" And then he says, "And can you believe she was diabetic and she was getting McDonald's?" Whoa, come on. You know what? She's diabetic. She probably needed something in her system. If you're diabetic, you have to eat if your sugar drops. I think that's how diabetes works. And he said, "Yeah, that's what she said. She said she was diabetic and she had to get something in her system right away. But McDonald's? Seriously? What did he want? Did he want to take her through to like a steakhouse? Like what? The woman was having a diabetic attack. She needed food quickly." At this point, I still had 20 minutes to go in this ride. He's making fun of drivers, people's clothes, runners on the street. One of the just most awful human beings I've ever met in my life. Besides the fact of being a shitty person, he's also a really shitty Uber driver. He takes me to the wrong location. I type it into my GPS and I'm directing him, and the entire time he's going, U-turn, seriously, so annoyed. We finally get to the place and he pulls into this parking garage because he went the wrong way. He went the wrong way. Now he's throwing a little hissy fit about how he's stuck in this parking garage. And I was like, it's not a big deal. You just go through the other way. As we're in the parking garage, I'm just like, you know what? I can get out now. I get out of the car. I'm just like, what a fucking asshole. 5 minutes later, I open the app and he still hasn't ended the trip. So he was pretending that I was still in the car so that he could charge me more. Okay, bye, bitch. And I gave him 1 star. Not because he tried to overcharge me, not because he went the wrong way, not because he complained when he took me to the wrong location, and not because he threw a hissy fit when he had to take me to the right location. All of that aside, I probably would have still given him 5 stars because I'm a good person, but because he was a transphobic, racist, awful piece of shit person. It's 2015, guys. Let's wake up. I also believe that I got him fired because when you leave a 1-star rating, they ask you what the problem was, and I straight up said everything that he did. They responded that they do not tolerate that type of language and behavior, and that the matter has been resolved, which I assume means he was fired, and good riddance. Those are my strangest Uber experiences so far. With how many times I take Uber, I am very, very positive that I will have very many more. Most of the time, though, there's really cool people. I promised that I would do a showstopper of the week. Showstopper, because I'm the Gabby show stopper. Get it? I didn't make it up. And this week's showstopper of the week is Nikki Daz. Nikki's dope. She always supports me. She always shares my YouTube videos. She follows me on everything. She has all of my notifications turned on. She's always liking, favoriting, retweeting. She's bae. She is my showstopper of the week, so give her a round of applause. Give her a follow. If you would like to be my showstopper of the week, make sure you tweet my video with the hashtag showstopper of the week, and make sure you're following me on everything and have my notifications turned on for YouTube, Vine, Instagram, Twitter. I appreciate it. As always, I love you, and I'll see you next week.
Now shut up and drive. Shut up and drive.
I'm gonna Uber ride, and I said, you know what Vine is? And he said, the street, and I said, no. And I said, I want